afternoon and welcome in, everybody. It is officially week one of the NFL season. We have finally made it. We've got a full panel here of the FF mediators here on Face Off Sports Network. We're really excited for week one. Coach, how you doing?
Man, I'm good. Football is finally here.
Tyler?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Week one's finally around the corner here. We've got one more sleep till it's in, so let's get started.
All right. So if you are joining us now, be sure to let us know you're here in the comments. Comment your questions, trades, start sits, waiver decisions. We are here for you. We're going to answer all the questions we get. If we get backed up, we will move as quickly as we can. Already got our first one in here. Welcome in, SWL Bo. We appreciate you for being here, brother. We will certainly answer any questions you have. Coach, I'm going to start with you. We've got the preview of Thursday Night Football tomorrow night. Eagles taking on the Cowboys. What's your thoughts on this game?
I was talking with some buddies today. We're talking about the fact that if the Cowboys are going to play the Eagles, week one is the best time to do it. No one wants to go to Philly and play, but the best opportunity to beat them is week one when things are might hopefully be a little sloppy on offense anyway.
Tyler, what's your thoughts on Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, I think obviously the Micah Parsons trade, has made things a whole lot more interesting. I think it's going to probably be a more offensive shootout at this point. We'll see if, they can actually score points on Philly's defense to keep up. But, we'll see how it goes. We expect a lot of fantasy points from the offensive side in Dallas, and we'll see if they can live up to the hype at this point.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting game, and we get to come back. There's certainly some things we could talk about Dallas for days on that defensive side of the ball, but at the same time, the offense is good. I think they're still going to be able to put up some points and put up a fight. I mean, Dak is going to sling the ball all over the place. We'll get to see kind of what Javonte Williams is going to turn out to be. But I'm excited just to have football back. I mean, our fantasy matchups are about to have us stressing like crazy. But we've got a couple questions, so let's hit those before we continue talking about the game. Doug says, is Washington still a defensive start this week? Dang right they are. You're throwing Washington in that lineup. I love it. Just throw them in there. They're high on Pete's rankings. I'll get them pulled up here. I've got special access to Pete's rankings, so shout out Pete. Washington is 6th for him in his top 24 starts, so I'm more than comfortable starting Washington this week. But that's just me. Any of you guys have thoughts on that?
Yeah, if you're not following Pete's streaming defenses videos, you need to be. Like, that guy's a defensive guru. So a lot of what we do defensively comes off of, his rankings and his thoughts. So I'm with Matt. Against the Giants, I'm starting Washington all day.
Tyler, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, they're going up against Russell Wilson. I know Malik Neighbors that said he's healthy, but having that lingering toe injury and everything, having your best weapon, hurt possibly or whatever is definitely not going to help their offense. So I would take the defense there as a start.
Yeah. Well, we've got a couple of Jaylen Warren questions here, guys. So let's talk about those. Tyler, I'm going to kick the first one to you. Who would you rather have for the rest of the season? Aaron Jones or Jaylen Warren?
Ooh, okay. So for me, the reason why I'm going to say this is because we've already done this X thread. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. I kind of broke down where Jaylen Warren and how Caleb Johnson are destined to be intertwined due to being in an Arthur Smith offense. And so for me, I'm actually going to take Aaron Jones here. I know he's an elder statesman by this point. People get kind of tired when you hear the same names over and over again in fantasy football. But if he's going to be the guy in Minnesota, he's going to be the guy. I mean, yes, they went and got Jordan Mason, but for me, I think I would take Aaron Jones for this season just because I think there's going to be more split work in the Steelers' backfield versus the Vikings.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Aaron Jones too. I like the offense better there. I do think Jaylen Warren's going to be involved, especially early, why Caleb Johnson kind of earns that role and gets more opportunity as the season goes along. But I just think Aaron Jones is going to be that stable force that we just know what he is. And I expect the Vikings just to be simply a better team and a better offense. Coach, what's your thoughts the rest of the season, Aaron Jones or Jaylen Warren?
Yeah, I think Aaron Jones out of the backfield is better than Jaylen Warren. Like, to me, that's the separator. I do think we've been talking about this a lot. Like, I do think Jaylen Warren is a buy for me. I've been saying that before the extension. No one's talked about Jaylen Warren at all. I think Jaylen Warren is the clear-cut starter in Pittsburgh, while Caleb Johnson's going to get, plenty. There's going to be a timeshare there to a certain extent. But Jalen Warren's a guy no one is talking about. I think he can easily outproduce his ADP. But all season long, I'd rather have Aaron Jones just because I just think he's going to do more work out of the backfield.
Well, enough of that season talk, Coach. Let's talk about this week. Would you rather start Tony Pollard, who has a brutal Week 1 matchup against the Broncos, projected to probably be one of, if not the best defense in all of the NFL? So, Coach, would you rather start Tony Pollard this week or Jalen Warren, your fantasy buy?
Now, I've been a known supporter of Tony Pollard also, right, as all three of us have been, and the fact that the Titans are going to use him like crazy. You're right, and I do think they're going to attempt to really use him against Denver, especially to take some pressure off Cam Ward and that vaunted Denver secondary. So I think I'm going to go Tony Pollard actually this week.
Oh, that kind of surprised me. Tyler, what's your thoughts here?
I'm echoing Coach there. I'm going Tony Pollard too, and it just goes back to what we said. It's going to be a split backfield, a shared workload there for the Steelers offense, and we already know that Tajay Spears is going to be out for the first, I think, 4 weeks, I believe. So it's going to be Pollard, maybe some Julius Chestnut sprinkled in, but he's going to get the lion's share of the workload. So I would take Pollard.
Yeah, it's really tough because that matchup is awful. I do think they're going to lean on Tony Pollard, just given the fact that Cam Ward's walking into his first true NFL start in a tough environment. But at the same time, like you said, Coach Tyler, Jalen Warren's going to have to compete with Caleb Johnson at least getting on the field, whereas I think Tony Pollard's going to have the bulk of the opportunity. So give me Pollard just with the chance for him to have, 5 or 6 targets with probably 15 or so carries, as opposed to Jalen Warren's, probably 10 carries and 4 targets.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Cam Ward, right, on the road in Denver. I mean, could it be a tougher Week 1?
I really don't think you could ask for a worse matchup for him. I mean, it's just like, here's this great DB unit that's got a great defensive line. The backers aren't bad either. Good luck. So
if there's anyone built to surprise, it's Cam Ward.
Hey, that's true. That's Coach's guy. Well, we have another defensive question here. It says, Texans defense worth dropping for the Cardinals defense? I saw a similar question yesterday on Pete's stream, and I'm going to answer it the same way. It's tough because if you drafted the Texans, I'm guessing you spent a decent pick on them. Whereas if you're dropping them for the Cardinals, you're really only playing for this 1 week. If you're comfortable with doing that, then I'm fine with it. Pete's got the Cardinals higher in his rankings this week, so that's who I would default to as the immediate start. But at the same time, I think the Texans project to just be a better defense going forward with better matchups ahead. Any thoughts there from either one of you?
Totally agree.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, here's the thing is, too, something to keep in mind, especially if this is like a redraft league. If you've got like an injured player or something, keep those IR spots open. You don't really necessarily want to roster 2 defenses, but if you just want to keep the Texans for whatever reason, you've got somebody you can throw in an IR spot, you can always do that, kind of play like a stream for this week. But if, like Matt said, the Texans going forward look to be probably a little bit better, even though the Cardinals matchup this week against the Saints may look a little bit better on paper.
Yeah, but I get the inquiry there. I think it's a good idea to look at that. Greg is here. What is going on, Greg? We appreciate you for tuning in, my friend. You are always here, so thanks for tuning in again. A question here, another one. Bench 1, Ridley versus Denver or Swift versus Minnesota? I was going to kick this to Tyler, but it feels like it has to go to Coach. Coach, this is 2 of your guys. One is your team, one is your fantasy love, and Calvin Ridley. Who are you picking here to bench?
Yeah, I really like both these guys, but I'm going to bench Ridley versus Denver and their secondary. Swift, Monday, I believe, he was the only healthy back at practice for the Bears on Monday. Like, Swift's going to get the bulk of the work in Chicago. The couple of the other guys will be back, but so I'm putting Swift out there against Minnesota on Monday night.
Okay. Tyler, anything different for you there? You got the same?
I think I'm probably a little bit of the same, but I just wanted to kind of bring up the fact that the Titans is an afternoon game on Sundays. So it's a 4:00 game. You could leave this as a flex spot decision if you have that availability. Leave it as a flex spot decision, and then depending on what you may need, if you need that higher upside, you're going to need those points and chase the points. Go with Ridley, for that afternoon game on Sunday. But if you just want some stability and a floor play, then I would take Swift there on Monday night.
Not a bad way to break that down there, Tyler. I'm going to go with Ridley. I'm going to buy into Cam Ward and his opportunity to force feed Calvin Ridley as the best wide receiver option in this offense. I'm not necessarily a fan of DeAndre Swift. I understand that he might have the opportunity there in Chicago, but at the same time, I kind of expect it just to be a group of guys all getting a little bit of opportunity and more of Caleb Williams kind of throwing the ball downfield with Ben Johnson kind of getting this offense rolling. So I like Ridley. I'm comfortable with if he gives me a low floor because I think DeAndre Swift is a low floor, frankly, in my opinion. So I'm going to shoot for the upside on week 1. I don't care about the matchup. It is what it is. If that's what I have to pick between these two guys.
I think that game's going to be closer than people think, though. Also, Tennessee,
Ooh,
Denver.
interesting. Pete, plug your ears if you're listening, my friend. Well, we got
I'd
one more
say Denver
question.
won't win, but
Hey, I mean, keep it close. Anything can happen, man. That's all you got to do. But he's got one more for us. Flex 2, Tyrone Tracy, Marvin Harrison Jr., Matthew Golden, or Josh Downs with him being cleared today. For me, I think this is pretty comfortably Marvin Harrison Jr. and Tyrone Tracy. Scottaboo being banged up throughout the offseason. I think that's just setting up for Tracy to be the guy to start this season. I think he's going to be fine coming out of the backfield. Scottaboo will certainly get worked in, but I like the play of Tracy and Marv. Tyler, what's your thoughts on this question?
Yeah, I know Downs was cleared today, being the Residents Colts fan. I get it, but I'm trying to just stay away from recently injured guys, especially this week 1. He just got cleared today. Yes, he has until Sunday, but we'll see how that goes. I hope he stays healthy because I'm going to the game. So it'll be good to see. Well, it's my first time ever going, so I had to bring it up. For me, though, I would definitely throw Marv in there. Marv would be one of my flexes for sure. It's probably a toss-up between Tracy and Golden for me. I would probably go with Tracy, though, like Matt said. Yes, we tout Golden as their wide receiver 1 now. But really and truthfully, we don't know who's going to be the number 1 target in Green Bay. It could be Tucker Kraft for all we know. So I would let Tyrone Tracy and Marv take up my 2 spots there.
Coach, yeah. I'm curious where you're going to go here.
It's a tough one for me, but I'm going to go Marvin Harrison Jr. I know that's shocking to people.
That had to hurt.
It did a little bit. It did. And Tyrone Tracy. Golden is the unknown. Like, I have this weird feeling that Dobbs is going to be their leading receiver. I don't know. There's just the unknown with Golden. I think Golden's the most talented. And then Downs, I really wanted to go Downs, but yeah, Tracy seems safe to me with the Scatterbo stuff. Like, I really feel comfortable with Tracy. And I'm just going to go with Marv because he's the best receiver they've got, and they got to throw the ball to somebody.
I think that's the right move. Alfredo comes in. Welcome back, Alfredo. He says Pearsall or Ibuka for this week. Adds it's a PPR league. It's funny because I have them ranked back-to-back in my weekly rankings. I have Emeka Ibuka at 37 and Ricky Pearsall at 38, so I'll default with Ibuka. Coach, who are you going with here?
I'm going Pearsall. I've had Pearsall's back this whole off season. I am not turning my back on him now.
That's fair. You have been there the whole time. I think that the Tampa Bay offense being all banged up, Chris Godwin's out, McMillan's going to be out, so I think it sets up for Ibuka to have a perfect runway. And what we thought was initially going to be a crowded wide receiver room to start the year kind of opens up for him to have a real opportunity to start this season.
But it's interesting. They're in Atlanta. Atlanta spent a lot of draft capital on defense. Will that defense be better? To me, that's a game between the winner of that game. To me, is going to be the team that leads the South most of the way. Like, I think those are the 2 best teams in the NFC South right there.
For sure. Tyler, who are you picking between this duo?
I'm going Ibuka from one main reason. I think that game's probably going to be more of a shootout. I think Michael Penix is going to come out firing on all cylinders personally. So I think they're going to go back and forth, kind of a track meet style. I know Coach has been a big Pearsall guy all offseason, even back to last year, but at this point, I think we know Kittle's probably the safest target bet there. And McCaffrey. We can't ignore the fact that he's back, so they're playing the Seahawks. They could get up early and just kind of coast it out if they needed to. Whereas I think this Bucks and Falcons game is going to be a little bit closer, but they'll have to stay competitive.
Yeah, and I think the 49ers are going to lean on the run too with McCaffrey coming back. So I expect a healthy week for him. Pearsall, I think Coach, if I had to pick someone, like you said, that's the guy to produce. So I'm with you there. But Scott said to our comment about his defenses, they both scare the crap out of you. Rightfully so. It's terrifying playing defenses. That's why you just go with whatever Pete says and then you put it in his hands. If he's wrong, just blame Pete. That's the easy thing to do. All right, We Be Wrestling says, should I trade Christian McCaffrey, Malik, and Henderson for Jaden Daniels? For Bucky Robinson and Bo Nix. This is a big deal. So Christian McCaffrey, Malik Neighbors, Travion Henderson, and Jaden Daniels for Bucky Bijan Robinson, I'm assuming, and Bo Nix. I mean, I'm of the opinion I would probably hold here. And
shocker.
I would keep CMC because, in my opinion, CMC and Bijan are probably a wash. Like, if they both play 17 games, they're probably pretty close. Malik is better than Bucky, and that hurts to say. But I'd rather have Jaden Daniels than Bo Nix. And then you're keeping Travion Henderson on top of that. So I would rather have the current players. Coach, you disagree?
No, I agree. I'd rather have the current players. As much as I hate to say it, it's because Jaden Daniels to me is superior to everyone else on that list, and I'm just going to keep the best player.
Okay, Tyler.
I agree. You're giving up too much on that deal just in the current format as it is. So I would keep the players you've already got there.
And he does add, or would you do Christian McCaffrey and Garrett Wilson for Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley? I would be interested in Jonathan Taylor and Saquon. I'm not gonna lie. I think I would entertain that. Garrett Wilson's kind of a mystery right now. But go ahead, Taylor.
No, I'm just saying he must be needing running back help. Like he must not have very much. It may just be like CMC and Hendo. Like that. That's the only reason I could see him trying to make this move earlier in the season. Especially both of his trades have included what we're assuming is 2 running backs. If that first one is Bijan, so. He must be needing running back help. If you're going to go after it, I would definitely go after this deal before the previous deal, though.
Sure. I agree. Well, questions are starting to back up, so we will certainly continue to go through the line, so bear with us. We are just going in the order that they appear for us, so if you're here, just know we'll get to you eventually as soon as we can. If you want to skip the line, throw a super chat. We will go straight to that, and we appreciate any and all support we get from you guys. We're just happy to have you here, so be sure to throw a like on the stream and subscribe to Face Off if you haven't already. Coach, Adams, DK Metcalf, or Ridley Standard League this week, who you got?
Standard. Oh. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going to go Metcalf. Rodgers is going to throw the ball to one guy. It's going to be DK Metcalf the whole time.
DK
Especially
Metcalf
week 1.
Taking on the Jets. We talked about Ridley with the tough matchup in Denver. Tyler, are you interested at all in Devontae Adams versus Houston? Because I think that's who I would pick. I would pick Devontae Adams.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going because Matthew Stafford is going to play. So if Matthew Stafford obviously is not playing this, he's not in this question, I don't believe. But I'm taking the shot on Devontae Adams to get a touchdown. In a standard league, that's what you're wanting anyway, that and yardage. So I could easily see both the Steelers and the Titans offenses kind of struggling or not producing like the Rams have that we've seen previously.
Coach, you have some agreement here on your spread with the Titans. So there you go. And the Titans we trust. Cam Ward's going to get it done.
I didn't say they were going to win.
Hey, take the points. Just take the points.
Just the spread.
Let's get to our next question, guys. Half PPR, Evan Ingram or Zach Charbonnet? For me, I'm going to go with Evan Ingram. Looked good in the preseason. Looked really involved with Bo Nix. At the same time, Zach Charbonnet is the 2 in Seattle. There's no way around that. I think he's going to get his opportunities. He's going to get a workload. So we'll see what he can do with that. But he's going to be hamstrung or capped in how much he can do. So I like Evan Ingram here. Tyler, what's your thoughts?
Same sentiment there. I think you hit it perfectly. If we knew Kenneth Walker wasn't going to play or something, it'd be a little bit more interesting, but I'll take Ingram here.
Coach?
Yep. Ingram. All day, every day.
Ingram all around. All right, in full PPR, I punted on my QB, so I'm either between Dak or Drake May. Which is the right move for week 1? It's easy for me. It's Dak. I don't care. I like Drake May. I think he's going to be a great player going forward. Really love his value in Dynasty. But if I'm talking a week-to-week play, especially for this season, it is going to be Dak all the way. This defense, I think, is going to give up points. The offense is good enough to score points. And I think the addition of George Pickens matters. He's got Ferguson back. He's going to have CD out there. Javonte is a good pass protector and good out of the backfield catching the ball. So I absolutely love Dak's value going forward. And he's so cheap in redraft right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Absolutely.
I 100% believe the Patriots have the better matchup, right? Obviously, against the Raiders. But Dak's the better player. I mean, if I'm trying to make a really tough decision and I'm unsure, then I'm going to play the guy I think is the better player, and I think Dak's the better player.
Yeah. I would love to know, because we talked about this in the offseason, especially as drafts came. He says he punted on quarterback. So I'm actually curious where he was able to pick up both Dak and Drake May. That would be interesting. If you're still in here, Anthony, just let us know. I'm just curious. I would go Dak here. I mean, yes, May has the rushing upside, but they could also, not even do anything on offense, just like last year. So I'll take the Dak side and just pray for that explosiveness.
And I also like to look at what's the ceiling play. Like if Drake May has the game of his life, I think it would be like 250 yards and like 20 rushing yards and like 2 or 3 touchdowns. Dak could easily throw for 330 and 4 touchdowns tomorrow night. Like that wouldn't shock me if that happened. He could do it. And they could still lose by 28 too, which is the funny part. But who the heck knows? Screw the Cowboys. But Ollie's in here, says, yo, what's up, Ollie? We appreciate you for being in here. Uncle Piff, thank you. I'm sorry, Ollie Gordon Truther. I saw you change your name. That's awesome, Zach. That just fooled me. Love that name. Philly Mike says T. Higgins to the Chiefs for 2 seconds is crazy. Chiefs going back-to-back Super Bowls. Oh, man. I guess T. Higgins just got moved. That's a life-changing move there. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think T. Higgins is going to be really good this year, by the way. I think he finishes as a top 12 wide receiver. That's my prediction. But let's continue on. And Anthony adds, for his last spot in a PPR league, I was able to pick up Bill. Should I drop him for Dylan Sampson or Dameon Pierce, or keep him? I'm absolutely keeping Bill. Your expectations for Ja'Cory this week, I think you have to lower them and understand that he still has to earn that workload. But I think he is the one player in the situation that could easily walk away being the starter with weekly starting upside as an RB2 for your team. Whereas the other two, I think, are in best case scenarios in split backfields. Coach, you have anything different? I know we kind of have gone back and forth on Bill in the last couple of weeks.
Well, I think this week, I think Dylan Sampson has more potential this week of those 3 guys. But over the course of the entire season, and I'm hanging on to Bill, and I'm hoping that works out.
So you wouldn't drop him for Dylan Sampson unless it was like
I'd hang on
a must start?
Yeah, if it's a must start, I'd grab Dylan Sampson. But other than that, I'd just ride it out. Like, if you're not starting any of the guys right now, then I would just hang on to Bill.
Yeah. Tyler?
I agree.
Right.
Hold on to Bill.
Well said. It's over, boys. Last year of drafting. Next year will be dominated by AI. It was fun while it lasted. It's true. I mean, you might. Or you just forget your draft and you let it auto pick. So that's a sad day too. Benjamin says, hey, guys, what do you guys think of Travis Hunter if he plays 70 to 80% of offensive snaps? I probably would.
Oh, God.
I would be uncontrollable. Coach doesn't want me to talk about it, so I'm going to let him go first. Go ahead, Coach.
No, go ahead.
No, by all means, get your negativity out, and I'll bring us back to the positive world. So go ahead.
I'm not going to be negative on Travis Hunter. I think he's a fine player. He's fine. He'll do a fine job.
Oh my God.
No, I like Travis Hunter. I like him on my team. I'm not quite as high on him this season as Matt is, just because I don't really know. But yeah, I like him. He plays 70-80%. I know he's listed as the backup corner, so that helps a little bit for all you guys that were a little bit worried about that. That made Matt feel, warm and toasty inside, so that helps.
Yeah. Tyler.
Just curious, didn't I don't know if it was the head coach or who it was, but didn't somebody from the Jags front office say he was going to play 80% of offensive snaps? Did I hear that right? Or I could be making this up. I thought I saw this somewhere.
They might have said that. I don't know if that report is true. I saw this same kind of thing trending on X earlier today, but I never saw official reports, so it very well may be. I don't know.
Okay, maybe that's what I saw. But, I mean, if he's playing 70 to 80% of offensive snaps, I mean, you're looking at huge upside for fantasy volume. You know, we were worried about him at one point saying, well, is he going to split time between offense and defense? You know, where's he going to end up? And Matt was just banging the drum over there. Just he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. So that's why you see these two kind of go back and forth about it. You know, he fell in home leagues and rookie drafts because of that news. And guess who was there to kind of scoop him up whenever he could?
Trevor Lawrence should have no problem, you know, sustaining as many amazing wide receivers as possible, as talented as he is.
Well said, Coach. Well said. And Trevor, we trust. I have absolutely zero concerns, and I've never had a concern for Travis Hunter. Even if he played less than 70% of snaps, I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be a great player. I think he's going to be great.
He played 3 plays. He scores 3 touchdowns. I don't know if you guys figured that out.
100%. Did you know that Ben Sinnott had a 100% catch rate last year? Went 8 for 8. There's your little snippet. By the way,
8 for 8.
8 for 8. But yeah, I mean, if
that's 7 more passes than I remember him catching.
I mean, if Hunter's on the field for 80% of the snaps, I think that's just going to equate to plug and play fantasy upside. Like, you should just throw him in your wide receiver 2 or your flex spot and just expect him to be a guy for you, in my opinion. But Coach, before we move on to these questions, I know we've got some more in here, so we appreciate everyone. If you've got more questions, be sure to throw them in there. Coach, would you rather start Rome Odunze or Travis Hunter this week?
Rome Odunze. Rome's scoring a touchdown this week.
Ooh, I like that call.
Touchdown guarantee from Coach.
You heard it here first.
A touchdown guarantee from Coach. I like it. Greg says, thanks, guys. He was thinking Adams, too, with me and Tyler. Great pick, my friend. Great pick. But if we're wrong, just remember Coach was right. Albert's in here. We appreciate Albert for being in here. Always with us. So thank you for being here, Albert.
He's
our guy. Andy says, need some second opinion, fellas. Which side do you prefer, Amon-Ra and Marvin Harrison or Neighbors and Hubbard? Now, this is big. I mean, I think this is going to be a tough one for Coach because I know where he falls on the Amon-Ra versus Neighbors side, but the Marv versus Hubbard, that's a pretty big turnoff there. So I expect Coach to go the Hubbard side. I think it would depend on the rest of my roster. Tyler, do you have an immediate response? I'm sitting here thinking.
No. So here's the thing: if the rest of your roster is completely like flush across the board, you know, like they're all evened out, I'd probably take Neighbors and Hubbard just because. I do like Amon-Ra, I like Marv, but I think we know that Neighbors' ceiling is higher than Amon-Ra's. Amon-Ra just maybe a little bit more stable, whereas we don't really know what Marv is this year. So he could be a repeat of last year. He could be drastically improved, but I would probably take the Neighbors and Hubbard side, just kind of evening out my roster a little bit.
Coach?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm taking Neighbors and Hubbard because I like Hubbard more than I like Marv. Amon-Ra is obviously a really good player. If this was Dynasty, I'd want a third coming back with Neighbors and Hubbard or more, you know, because I think there are a lot of people out there that value Marv much higher than I do. Just to be transparent, like there are a lot of people that would give a whole heck of a lot for Marv. So that's just something to keep in mind.
The name value is insane for Marv. So I hate to be boring, but it's a clean sweep. I'm going with Neighbors and Hubbard too. I think that's you got more upside in Neighbors over Amon-Ra, and then at the same time, I think Hubbard's the better play over Marvin Harrison Jr. in my opinion. But if your roster certainly had some sort of, I don't know, desperate need for wide receiver, it might change my mind a little bit. But you know, obviously it's dependent there. But, you know, Coach mentioned the Dynasty side. If you guys have Dynasty League questions, you want to throw them in here too. We are 3 guys that primarily play a ton of Dynasty. We're in redraft too, so we do this all sorts of different leagues, but we love Dynasty. So any questions you have, we are happy to answer. Anthony adds, Tyler, to your question, it's a 10-team home league. So we picked Dak in the 14th, and May was on waivers. So, I mean, that's a great pick. I mean, if you need – I don't even know if you need May, but if you want to keep him on your team, by all means.
Hey, Pete makes a good point here, Matt.
What's that? Oh, yeah. Pete's right. Don't forget, if you send a super chat, you skip the line and get entered into a free giveaway for 1 month of premium Discord at the end of the show. So be sure to, if you want to get in that, the Discord's great. We've got all sorts of things in there, rankings, access to the three of us and the other members at Face Off, where we are constantly engaging with the community. Weekly drops with our positional rankings prior to them being posted or in their video format. You get notifications on everything. There's all sorts of stuff in our Discord that you're going to want to have access to. So if you want to get that, send us a super chat. Let us know.
Yeah, Pete's a defensive wizard. Typing and spelling, though, not necessarily his strong suit.
That we'll forgive him for that. I can't spell either. So
if you send in a super chat, you will skip the line, not skill the line.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's skill to skip the line too. Like, there's something to be said for that.
True, that's a good point. That is a good point.
Let's get back to where we were. Arthur is on here, so let's get to Arthur's question. It says, full PPR, Ibuka or T-Mac? Feels like they're both going to get volume, but Baker and Tampa Bay are the better offense. I think it's Tet McMillan for me. I mean, I'm not scared of the Jacksonville defense.
Yeah, you do.
I mean,
you've never been a hater.
Yeah, well, I have been a hater. I have been. But at the same time, I mean, yeah, he could match up with Travis Hunter some. That's certainly possible. And that would be a really fun matchup to watch. I'm sure you guys would agree. It's going to be nice to kind of see them square off and see how much defense really Travis Hunter is going to play. But at the same time, I like Tet to be the guy in this offense and kind of carry the workload for the Panthers. Ibuka still is going to have to deal with other members of this offense. Yeah, Tampa Bay is great, but he's still the rookie. You still have Mike Evans. You still have Bucky Irving. You still have Cade Otton. So there's other options there. The only other option in Carolina is Chuba Hubbard and Jalen Coker. So give me Tet McMillan. Coach,
you're the Panther. And Coker's hurt, right? And Coker's hurt. So
true. That. Yeah. He's out. He's out playing this week.
Right. I've come around on Tet. Like, it's Tet for me. Like, I can't ever get on board with the T-Mac. That's Tracy McGrady for me. So, I'm Tet. I was a hater too. Watching him in the preseason. Watching the preseason brought me around. I think I would be intrigued by a matchup against Travis Hunter. I would love that, especially if he has the same success Alec Ayo Manor had against Travis Hunter.
Oof, torched him. Torched him.
Yeah, he did.
Tyler.
I'm glad you guys have joined the dark side here. So we're going T-Mac. It's a triple sweep here. I do like Ibuka a lot, but you still have Mike Evans to compete with there, and I think Bucky gets more involved in the passing game this year. So I'm taking Tetero and McMillan. I'm glad you guys are finally on board. It's great to hear. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they did actually match up in college one time, and I'm pretty sure he already smoked Travis Hunter one time. So I will take that.
I know they played, but I don't remember what happened. So that's something to look up. Tyler, look that up while we're sitting here. I'm curious.
I'll go looking.
And then I'll kick this question to you, Coach. Benjamin asked us, would you rather grab off waivers Bashal Tootin or Quinshon Judkins?
Man, this is super easy. This Judkins all day.
Okay.
It's Judkins all day.
When
he signs, he is playing. Yes.
Well, did you see the reports that a suspension might be looming for him to start the year?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not sure Tootin's going to play a role all season long. Like, I'm just rolling the dice. So there's big boom potential with Judkins.
I totally get. To be fair, my play would be Judkins as well. I would probably take Judkins because while I like Tootin, especially in Dynasty, I think for redraft purposes, he's got to climb a mountain a little bit. It's not quite the same scenario of Bill, where it's kind of an older vet, an unproven guy. The Jacksonville backfield as a whole is just a gambit of who the heck knows. Like, any one of them could step up and be the guy. And it wouldn't shock me if you said that. Now, I think Travis Etienne is going to get the first share or first crack at it, you could say. And then at the same time, I think you can have, Tank Bixby step in and have a role too, especially around the goal line. But, Tootin's going to have to work up to that. He's explosive, but we'll have to see. Tyler, do you have thoughts on this? And do you have an answer for our question?
I do have an answer. I would easily go Judkins here off waivers. If we get to our buy sales later, I'll get to expand on that a little bit. There's your little spoiler warning. But I did come back. It was 2023 when they played. So it wasn't last year. It's the year before. And then T-Mac had 9 receptions for 107 yards and a touchdown on top of Travis Hunter. So there's your preview.
A preview from Tyler.
That's why Travis Hunter's playing offense.
Something like that.
That's funny. Arthur says, all right, lads, I'm riding with Tet week 1 over Ibuka. Wish you luck. Thanks for the help. Hey, we appreciate you for being here, Arthur. Be sure to tune in each week. We are live every single Wednesday. So if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the Face Off Sports Network as we will continue. We are caught up on questions. So if you have your questions, throw them in the chat. We are ready and willing to answer them. I think while we've got this little bit of break, Coach, you kind of pulled out some things for us to answer, so we're going to answer your questions now. So now we're going to Coach's picks.
Yeah, so it's sort of a pick 'em. I'm going to hit you guys with a question. I want you to kind of rapid fire your answers. I say rapid fire as in I'm going to type in who picks what. And at the end of the year, we'll see who got the most right. We got to figure out some way to bet and what we want to bet on when it comes to this. But here's the first one. Are you ready?
We're ready.
We good? Rapid fire. Jaden Daniels or Joe Burrow, who has more total yards this week, passing and rushing combined?
Passing and rushing combined. So,
Matt, I'll go to you first.
Sure. Well, let's just preview the matchups, Coach. So Joe Burrow plays at Cleveland, and then Jaden Daniels takes on the Giants. Give me Joe Burrow. I think they're going to go off this week. He's going to throw for 350.
All right, Tyler.
It's more total yards. I'm just making sure I got the context.
Total yards, passing and rushing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go Jaden Daniels. We can split the first one.
You know that Giant defense, man. That front seven is solid.
Mm-hmm. That defensive line's filthy.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm going Joe Burrow.
Okay.
I'm saying they're going to air it out. I just think he's going to have better numbers. All right, next one. You ready? Are you ready? Next one?
Ready. Let's do it.
All right. Chuba Hubbard. Does he score a touchdown this week? Yes or no?
Chuba Hubbard taking on
the Jags.
The Jags. Chuba Hubbard gets in the end zone. He does.
Yep.
That says yes. Tyler says yes. I say yes too. We're all in agreement there.
Okay.
All right. Justin Fields.
Oh God.
2 or more touchdowns this week.
Passing or rushing and passing?
Both.
Whew. No. Only one.
Tyler says no.
Yeah, I'm going no.
Matt?
Only one. He throws one to Garrett Wilson. That's it.
Ooh, all right. Well, it's a clean sweep here. We're all going no. All right, ready? More total yards. These two guys are playing each other, so this makes it a little more simple.
Okay.
Josh Jacobs, Jahmyr Gibbs. This is passing and rushing yards. Who has more total yards?
More total yards. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with.
I'm
Gibbs.
gonna go Jacobs. I'll go first. I haven't went first yet. I'm gonna go Jacobs.
Okay, I'm gonna go Gibbs.
I'm going Gibbs too. That's shocker.
Yeah, I'm shocked. And our last one. Ready? More total yards. A-Chain or Jonathan Taylor?
A-Chain. Both of them playing each other again. More total yards. A-Chain's kind of had the injury this week. I think some of those other guys might get worked in a little bit. I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll echo that sentiment.
Oh, man. I am going to win big or I'm going A-Chain.
Wow.
I'm stepping out on the limb. Well, I mean, I'm going to be different, you know?
Be different, Coach. Be you. So we'll see how that pans out, and we will certainly continue to give our results and throw them into you guys next week. And Coach will have his next set of questions. So, Coach, we appreciate you for pulling those together. We've got a few more questions in the chat, so let's get back to those if you guys are ready.
Let's do it.
Arthur says, thoughts on Amarian Hampton? He fell to me at the 4-5 turn, and I couldn't pass on him. Are you guys worried about Najee? Should I be concerned at all for week 1 and maybe start Monty over Amarian Hampton? Great question. I think that taking him at the 4-5 turn, don't hate that landing spot. I almost took him last night in the exact same situation. For me, I actually have Amarian Hampton ahead in my weekly rankings. I have him at 20, and I have David Montgomery at 22. So I'm going to go with Amarian Hampton. How worried am I about Najee? Not too much this week. Going forward, he's going to have a role, so be ready for that. I'm going to kick it to Tyler. You said something first.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I wouldn't really be worried about him this week. You're talking about Najee, who missed most of training camp. I think he just got back to doing anything this past week or 2 weeks, actually working with the team. He was working off to the side before that. But I think going forward, he'll have more of a role. But I think Omarion Hampton will be okay this week.
Yeah. Coach.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Monty's role may continue to fade just a little bit over the course of the season. Marion Hampton, I'm all about him. They're gonna run the heck out of the football too, so that helps. I'm all about Marion Hampton.
All right. Well, there you
I'm
go.
not too worried. I'm not too worried about Najee. I would have been. The injury and all the stuff that's been going on with his eye, like that makes me not worry as much. Let's say that.
You don't think that there's at least a role for him? Like, would you say he has more or less than 30% of the carries?
This week, less. Moving forward, more.
Oh, okay. But you think Amari Hampton, that offense is that good where it doesn't matter?
I do, and I think they're going to run the ball, and the running game is going to be so important it doesn't matter as much.
Okay. Coach, this is going to you because this might be gross for you.
Ooh.
DK or Pickens?
I just threw up my mouth. I think DK because there's just nobody else there to throw the ball to. I mean, I do think that Pickens is a wide receiver too in an offense in Philly. DK's not just wide receiver one; he's the only wide receiver.
Tyler, DK or Pickens?
I'm gonna buck the trend. I'm going Pickens here. I like the offense better.
I do too. I was gonna pick Pickens, but I pulled up my rankings. DK at 28, Pickens at 29. I'll stick to my guns. I'm going with DK.
Oddly enough, too, I like the Cowboys at plus 8.5. Just saying.
There we go. Coach's next pick. Cowboys plus 8.5. Well, let's get to our next question here. How do y'all feel about Debo this year and for week 1? Coach, taking on the Giants, what do you think about newcomer Debo Samuel for my Washington Commanders?
This isn't going to be Debo of 3 years ago, where he's just could possibly carry your fantasy team. That's not the guy. But at the same time, he's going to outperform his ADP significantly. I feel like he's a guy everybody was sleeping on. He's been, overweight and out of shape at times in the offseason. That looks to be past him now. He's a guy I like on my roster. If I got him as my wide receiver 3 or my flex, for instance, I feel really good about Debo. In week 1 against the Giants, I have zero problems putting Debo out there in my lineup.
Tyler.
Yeah, I agree. I pulled him up on Player Profiler really quick just because Coach had mentioned he's going to outperform his ADP. So on Underdog, he's going at 66.2 according to this. Last year was the wide receiver 44. I think he does probably outperform that. I would probably put him in back half wide receiver 2, top of wide receiver 3 range. That's kind of where I see his outcome, kind of finishing at the end of the year. So I think he'll do okay this year. He's like Coach said, he's not going to be the Debo from 3 years ago where he was the wide receiver 2 or anything, but I think he'll be solid.
I love his value for this year. I absolutely love it. I mean, obviously I'm a Commanders fan, but at the same time, Washington was dying to have someone help Terry McLaurin. We saw Noah Brown play. We saw De'Ami Brown play in the playoffs, have a great run. Olamide Zacchaeus, he had an opportunity for a little while. I mean, all sorts of guys stepped in, but no one could really fill that void, where I think Debo can. And at the same time, for week 1, I love it even more. Terry McLaurin has been a holdout. I don't think that that's going to necessarily affect him long term, but I wouldn't be shocked if, maybe he rested a little bit more or, didn't quite look the same just because you lose that rhythm. Not saying that he's going to be bad because everyone's going to come at me in the comments and say that Terry's terrible. I said Terry's terrible, but I don't think that. I just think that Debo might have a good opportunity week 1.
Well, we actually did a buy-sell video on this, which you guys can go back and look on both of these guys, Debo and Terry, where we're buying Debo because his stock was really low. We think he's going to be okay. We think he's going to be fine. We were selling Terry not because Terry's not a phenomenal player. We just don't think he's going to score 13 touchdowns again, partially because of Debo. And they're going to be a better offense because they have both of those guys.
Great point, Coach. That's a great point. Those videos are about 2 weeks ago. I think we put those out where we were saying we were selling Terry at his ADP, but we were buying Debo at his ADP just because we think he can outperform it. And Terry would still be drafted high despite having the contract issues. But Greg, a loyal follower for us, has got Reed in quite a few leagues. Don't feel safe with him right now to start. So got players like Wandale, Bateman, Mason, Hunter Henry, and PPR Dynasty. Who are you starting? Because Coach's guy is listed first, I'm going to make Coach answer the question. What are you doing here? Are you starting Jaden Reed, or are you going to go with your man, Wandale Robinson?
I am going to start Wandale Robinson. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going with. Now, I do love Jaden Reed. The fracture in his foot is odd. I'm not real sure what to think of that or how much that's going to impact. It may not impact him at all. I just have no idea what to think with him. I do think Wandale's going to get targeted a million times. He was going to catch about 6 balls for about 12 yards, but that in itself is is going to produce you some points, especially if it's PPR, right?
12 catches for 12 yards. Tyler, who are you playing here?
I'm going to actually take Rashad Bateman. He got a 3-year, $36 million contract extension this past offseason. So for me, I'm taking him. He was sneakily good last year. He was consistently catching, 50-yard touchdown bombs from Lamar Jackson. So elite offense, check. Maybe not necessarily the number one target on the offense, but they obviously have that rapport. So I would take Bateman over 12 catches for 12 yards any day.
Greg, I wish I could give you some consensus from this panel, or at least a majority vote, but I'm not going to give you that. I'm starting Reed. I think that Reed might be the best play of all of them. I know he's hurt. I know the injury's a little scary, but at the same time, he was fantastic in week 1 last year. Just going to throw that out there. I'm pretty sure he was like wide receiver 1 or 2 overall. But at the same time, I think that Reed is going to be a guy that remains involved. I mean, obviously he's questionable, so be sure to pay attention to that. If he were to be hurt, I would be, oh my gosh, that is just awful. Wandale's the floor play. Bateman's the ceiling play. Mason's the question mark.
I'm not playing Mason for sure.
Yeah.
I'm eliminating him.
I think if I had to pick someone else, I would go with Bateman. But in my opinion, I'm going to stick with Jaden Reed. I just think he's going to have the opportunity. If he's playing and they're using him, I just expect it to matter. Not to mention, I mean, let's not forget, they're playing Detroit. Like, this game matters. Week 1 is a divisional game. Like, they need to win this. They just push the chips in to go all in.
And don't you think in this group of players here that Jaden Reed's probably the best player? Like, that's
totally agree.
I just think he's the best player, but I get so frustrated with the Green Bay offense and the usage among all those receivers, and that's when Reed's healthy. And I just don't, it's just the unknown for me there. It makes me a little uneasy.
Tyler, he's got another question. In a tight end premium league with an extra half point, Hunter Henry or Jawan Johnson? Woof. Tough spot, Greg.
Yeah.
Wait, is that Jawan Jennings? Jawan Jennings, yeah.
That was my next question. That's where
Jawan Jennings. I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay. I'm taking Jawan Jennings. I believe in him. I know he's missed time. As long as he plays, I'm putting Jawan Jennings in there.
Yeah. Coach.
Yeah, this is a little tough for me. Jawan Jennings is back. It looks like he is going to play. I think I'd run Jennings out there myself.
I would too. I mean, that's the upside play. I mean, if you're starting Henry, you're just hoping to God he gets 4 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown. Like, you're just praying for the touchdown. Give me Jawan Jennings.
Yeah.
A behind the scenes question: if we all hit the hype button, does it help y'all's videos? Honestly, I think so. Yeah. So if you want to give us some hype, we appreciate it. It's going to do nothing but help us. It can't hurt us. We appreciate any and all hype we can get, especially Coach. I feel like he's told me the word hype like 35 times in the last 2 days. So Coach is a big hype man. He's our number 1 hype man. Any thoughts there?
I am. No, 100% agree. I am the hype guy. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Pick 2, Coach. Sutton, Adams, or Pickens, full PPR. I already know your answer, so this sucks.
Adams and Sutton.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm going to say
that feels kind of easy to me, honestly.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. Tyler?
Yeah, I'm going Adams and Sutton. I like Pickens, but I mean, I think Adams probably has a little bit of a better matchup, and Sutton's the wide receiver 1 on his offense. He'll suck up targets in full PPR. So
I really love Sutton this year. I love Sutton.
He's looked good in the preseason, too. Bo Nix just throwing him the ball.
Yeah, buddy.
So Well, Arthur asked us to take a look at his roster in a 10-man league, full PPR with one flex. Here's his roster, so we'll give him our thoughts and what we think. He's got Baker, CD, Drake London, Chase Brown, Amari Hampton, Tet McMillan, David Njoku, Emeka Egbuka, Monty, Josh Downs, Jordan Mason, and Kincaid. Tyler, I'll start with you. What's your thoughts on Arthur's team here?
I love it. I mean, you've got 2 star wide receivers probably budding here. You've got Chase Brown and Amari Hampton, and then Monty. That's probably your weakest link. Having Jordan Mason there, maybe later on down the road that comes to fruition. But right now, you really only got 3 running backs, and then one of them being a rookie that we don't really know fully what he's going to be yet. But I do like the Baker play. I like Njoku as your starting tight end. I think he's going to have a huge year, especially if Flacco continues to be the QB. And then having both Downs and Egbuka on your bench, they could soak up a lot of targets too. So I actually really like the team. If I was going to make any moves, I'd probably end up maybe bolstering the running back depth a little bit, but I like it overall.
Coach.
Yeah, I agree. Running backs could use a little help. Njoku, I'm with Tyler on that. Like, I love Njoku. He may be the most underrated tight end in the league, in my opinion. I do not love Kincaid at all, just to be honest. But now, Matt, what's so funny there?
I don't love Kincaid.
At all.
That's true. He's been very critical of Dalton Kincaid. A lot of that just stems from Josh Allen. I mean, he's going to move the ball around. He doesn't throw the tight end. And coach has said that for, frankly, years. So,
yeah, it's not about Dalton Kincaid. It's about Josh Allen not throwing the ball to tight ends. He just doesn't. But, I mean, he's your backup probably, so that's okay.
Yeah, I think he's your backup. I like this team. I'm going to echo what they said. You're certainly looking for some running back help, but at the same time, Drake London, CD, and Chase Brown, you couldn't really ask for a better start there as far as it goes for wide receivers and your first running back. So I like it. I'm fine with it. You'll just have to kind of play the waiver wire and see what happens, maybe pick up someone else. I mean, Jordan Mason is a good stash if something happens to Aaron Jones, Josh Downs. I don't really care about Monty. Fantastic pick for a stable RB and also a premium handcuff. But let's get to our next question, guys. He went RB heavy. Chase Brown, David Montgomery, and Kyron Williams. What do you think, Coach? What do you like this group?
I love it. Like, I love that group. I mean, heck, it's got some of my favorite players in it, right? I've always been a Kyron believer. Barkley. I mean, there's nothing, you can't say anything bad about that. I absolutely love that group.
Oh, I might have skipped. Did I say Barkley? I might have skipped over Barkley.
You didn't. I was going to say skipped over
I think Barkley I totally skipped over Barkley. I was like, oh my God.
You threw me off for a minute. I was like, wait a minute.
Chase Brown, Barkley, Kyron Williams, and Monty. Yeah, hell yeah. I love this group. That's a fantastic running back room. Tyler, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Honestly, I mean, I would have probably just stopped after, Barkley, Chase Brown, and I'm assuming you had to take Kyron first. That really is the way the ADP falls. But I'd have probably stopped after those 3, honestly.
His receivers are Russell Gage and Gabe Davis, but
they might be. Like they're probably not looking too great, but I mean, I do think those running back, that's a great running back room if you've got good value on your wide receivers and stuff later.
Hell yeah.
He says to take a risk and pass up some great quarterbacks to go running back heavy. Got Stroud in the 8th. I'm really high on while everyone is down on him. Yeah, I mean, that's something we've talked a lot about this offseason working up to our redrafts is the fact that there's so many quarterbacks. Drafting late, to me, was the must-do move. I mean, it felt like it got the most value for your team while, really forming out those positional players like running back and wide receiver. So I like the play. I mean, calling a bounce back for CJ Stroud, not crazy. I mean, the offensive line is going to be the biggest question mark for me, in my opinion. But there's no doubt they added pass catchers all over the place in Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel. You've also got Nico there and then Christian Kirk. So there's plenty of playmakers there. Obviously sucks they lost Joe Mixon, but I'm okay with it. Tyler, what's your thoughts on banking on CJ Stroud here?
Well, as an owner of CJ Stroud in multiple dynasty leagues, I hope that works out. Definitely last year was a little rough, but I think he'll step up. I think they'll step up with the offensive weapons they've got. Another guy that I'm really interested to look out for is actually Woody Marks, their rookie running back. So I think he could kind of burst onto the scene as a PPR option out of the backfield. So just keep an eye on him too, especially early on in the season. You could look at him possibly on waivers if Nick Chubb isn't performing.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate that. We are going to jump to Alyssa's question here. She sent a super chat, so we appreciate that. 10-person, half PPR, thoughts on the roster. She got an F grade, so let's give her some hope if we can. Let's talk about this team. We appreciate you. Just so everyone knows, right now, as it stands, she will be our winner of the duck race by default. So you're going to have that wonderful chance to get into our Discord if you want to compete with Alyssa. So let's get to our roster, guys. Lamar, Pearsall, Marvin Harrison Jr., Bijan Genty, Ingram, Tet McMillan, Emike Egbuka, Lutz at the kicker, Baltimore on defense. The bench is going to be Drake May, Braylon Allen, Zach Charbonnet, and then Nick Chubb. How do we feel about Alyssa's offense or roster here, Tyler?
I don't see how she got an F, honestly. I mean, sure, you're maybe missing like the big names at wide receiver, but you have Lamar at your quarterback position, which I feel like should get you out of F territory in general. You also have Bijan. So, I mean, I would actually be interested too. You've got Pearsall as one of the top targets in San Francisco. Marvin Harrison, he steps up. Egbuka and Ted are both great picks to me. I don't know who gave you an F on your on your draft there, but unless it's just based off of depth, maybe. But I like your team overall, honestly.
Tyler's giving you an A. So drafted well, fantastic team. I mean, talk about some rushing upside between Lamar, Bijan, and Genty. Woo! That could score some points. Coach, what's your thoughts on this roster?
Yeah, I mean, wide receiver is definitely a little bit scary. There's no doubt there. Bijan Genty can counteract that. Definitely not an F. I wouldn't necessarily say an A either. Just because of the wide because of the wide receiver room. Yeah, and the depth. The depth would be my biggest concern because you essentially have some handcuffs back there as your depth. That would be a concern and somewhere I would possibly look to upgrade. But to me, that's a team that's going to be eligible to compete in whatever league you're in.
Yeah, and I think the important thing here too is going to be Egbuka. That's going to be your early, flex play, or maybe not, depending on if you go with Ted or someone else. But at the same time, he's got the opportunity to produce right away. I mean, with Godwin out, McMillan out, we've talked about it a couple times that he's got that runway to really step in and be the guy for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers alongside Mike Evans. And we know that this team is going to pass the ball a ton. So I like the opportunity there for Egbuka, especially early on for your team. So I think it can work. I mean, like they said, wide receiver might be your biggest question mark. But at the same time, Coach, we're talking about different guys that the three of us have all said we're really interested in and frankly, one on our teams. I mean, Ricky Pearsall, would it shock you if he finished somewhere around as a wide receiver too? No, I don't think so.
If he finished his top 20, it wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Yeah, and if we said Marvin finished around 14, that wouldn't surprise me. If Egbuka finds his way to be, top 30, then suddenly this team finally has a way to compete because we're talking about Bijan, who could be the RB1, Lamar, who could be the QB1, and then Genty, who's kind of your wild card. He could be anywhere from running back 3 to running back 12. So this team has a chance, and not to mention Evan Ingram, I think is a fantastic play tight end, a cheap play for a guy who I think is probably in line for 140 targets.
Yep, totally with you on that. And Drake May's solid option at quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Totally agree. So we're selling your team. We're not going to give you an F. We think you deserve more than that. So we really appreciate your super chat. And as it stands right now, you're going to be our winner. So stay tuned with us. If you're still here, be sure to shoot us a DM on X or throw it in the chat here, and we'll get you hooked up. But let's get back to our questions, guys. And let me find where we left off. I believe we're right here at Benjamin's question. Who'd you start between Jordan Mason, Demario Douglas, full PPR? Thanks, guys. Great show. We appreciate you, Benjamin. Thanks for being in here. Coach, what's your thoughts? Jordan Mason or Demario Douglas?
I first of all, I wouldn't feel too good about either one of them starting, just to be honest. But I'd go Pop Douglas, I believe. Seriously,
Tyler.
Pop Douglas.
Yeah. I'm going Pop here. We talked about it earlier. Jordan Mason is a dart throw at this point. Like, yes, we expect him to be involved, but we really don't know. He's a question mark. So I'll take Demario Douglas. At least he has the opportunity for that full PPR. Like, if he becomes Drake May's guy, he could at least give you something.
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota taking on Chicago. Um, that's tough. I think it's tough to project that Jordan Mason is going to be anything more than a 7-point play. Whereas in a PPR league, Damari Douglas, he could easily catch 5 or 6 balls for 40 yards, and he has the opportunity to get even more than that taking on the Raiders. So a plus matchup there. And the Raiders, I think, are better on offense than they are on defense. So I like Pop Douglas there with the fellas. So I hate to make it a sweep, but it's a sweep. Greg adds, thanks, guys. I'm mainly playing Dynasty, so sometimes these are rough choices. That's the 3 of us, man. So if you haven't already, be sure to join the Discord. The link is in the description. You can jump to the Patreon. The Discord is free, so you can jump in the Discord. You can throw all your questions. The 3 of us are active in there, constantly talking about it, and we're dying to talk Dynasty with anyone who will listen. So be sure to jump in that Discord if you haven't already. William is here. Says, evening, gents. What's going on, my friend? We appreciate you for tuning in. Let's get to, I blink. Safi, I'm sorry, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. 12-team, full PPR, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex. Starters are Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, Malik Neighbors, Devontae Smith, Dalton Kincaid, and Emeka Egbuka. The bench is Goff, Wandale, Cup, Reed, Otten, my boy Bill, Rashad White, and Mixon on IR. What is your thoughts on this team, Tyler?
I think that probably a little bit scary with the running back depth. I mean, yes, I like Kenneth Walker, but he's been prone to injury over the last few years. I like Josh Jacobs. Having Malik Neighbors, Devontae Smith, and Egbuka, I'm really happy with. He's got coach's man Wandale on here, so that's a walk-in 12 yards on the season. Cooper Kupp is a dart thrower too. I mean, if people seem to have thought Cooper Kupp dropped off the face of the earth, so I think that could be interesting. Really and truthfully, you're banking on Mixon to come back at some point to provide you with some more depth, but I can't fault the team overall too hard. I would just probably look at the running back depth there.
Yeah, Coach, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Tyler there. Kenneth Walker scares me a little bit too. I actually like Cade Otton more than I like Kincaid. I know that we just talked about this a minute ago, but I don't hate Cade Otton. I feel like people sleep on him at tight end. I think he's a sleeper tight end pick. Him and Jake Ferguson are 2 tight ends I actually like. Mixing on the IR, me and Matt could talk for a little while about how that's kicked us in the nuts too. So I get that. Yeah, I really like this team personally.
I do too. I mean, the Mixon move, yeah, that sucks. Rashad White, that's a pretty good. You could do worse for a guy on your bench, in my opinion. Bill is kind of your wild card. What could he turn into? Cup and Coach had the same graduating year, I'm pretty sure. So they're both vested in the NFL. I mean, it's true that Kenneth Walker, I think it is a little concerning, but I talked about this the other day when I was doing my running back video. It's interesting to me that Kenneth Walker was 8th in the entire running backs of all last season missed tackles forced. And he only played in whatever games you and Chris always yell at me for, where he appeared in only 12 games or whatever it was. I mean, he still makes people miss. I mean, the guy's fantastic when he's on the field. The question is, will he play? Obviously, he's been hurt going through this offseason, but I drafted him last night, and I've hyped him up all season, and it was scary when I did it. Let me tell you, I was frustrated with myself for doing it, but I'm going to buy in. I think there's opportunity for him, so I'm all for it. But let's keep going on, fellas. Arthur says thanks you. He's got a new fan, so he's going to be tuning in next week. We're live every single Wednesday. The Face Off Crew is live throughout the week. We've got all sorts of recorded content, so be sure to check that out. But you can catch us each week on Wednesday night. So we will be here. We appreciate you, Arthur, for tuning in. Thanks for joining us. Coach, Calvin Ridley or Matthew Golden this week. What's your thoughts?
Calvin Ridley. They're going to force feed him the ball in Tennessee. Golden, who knows? Who knows?
Tyler.
I am on the same side there. I'm going Ridley.
Yeah, I hate to do a clean sweep, but it's Ridley. And I love Matthew Golden. I'm not sure that I'm ready to play him this high or this early, I think there's better days ahead. I had him 45 in my rankings overall. I have Calvin Ridley at 33, so give me Ridley, even in that tough matchup. But let's continue on. Thank you. No, thank you. We appreciate you. Again, stay tuned. We'll get you hooked up. All right. Because you went running back heavy. Did we already do this?
No.
I think. No, we didn't. Okay. Because I went running back heavy, my wide receivers are Ted McMillan, Jamison Williams, and Debo as my starters in a full PPR format where I can start quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, tight end wide receiver, and 2 flex. I'm not sure if there's a question that follows that, but
this is the follow up.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I got you. There's so many comments here. I'm lost in them.
This is the follow up to when I said he had Russell Gage and Gabe Davis as his receiver.
Yes, this is the Barkley team.
Okay, Barkley, let's go back to it. If knowing these are your wide receivers, are you okay with that, Coach?
Somewhat. I wouldn't go that route, honestly. I think he went a little too much running back heavy. Jamison Williams scares the crap out of me. I think Debo obviously is going to outperform his ADP. We already talked about that. And Ted McMillan's fine. I just would like to have one more guy in there, you know?
Yeah. I don't disagree. Tyler, you have any thoughts there?
Yeah, I agree. Like we said on the previous comment, you know, I might have stopped at Kyron and Barkley and the other Chase Brown. I might have stopped after those guys and just hammered wide receivers. But I mean, knowing that you could get Ted and I actually like Jamison Williams and then Debo, I like your team, man. I think you're going to lean obviously heavily on your running backs, but I like it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep going. We got a couple more. So if you're still here, be sure to throw them in the chat. We'll probably go for another 5 or 10 minutes or so, and then we'll get out of here. Star-Lord. That's exciting that Star-Lord's asking for us.
Yes.
Nick Chubb, Josh Downs, or Roma Dunze. Coach, we're going to kick it to you because you're a Bears fan.
I got to go Rome. I already guaranteed him a touchdown this week. I'm going Rome.
Yeah, that's true. Tyler, you're a Colts fan, so any thoughts here? You going to switch up on that?
Nope, I'm going Roma Dunze.
I'm not a Texans fan, so I'm not going to pick any of those guys. So give me Roma Dunze. I like Rome. I don't think he's going to score a touchdown, although I'd love that for some of my leagues. But at the same time, I do think Rome's going to slowly emerge into that wide receiver 1 for the Chicago Bears because DJ Moore's not that good. But we'll talk about that another day.
I cannot believe in my questions I did not put one about who does better, Caleb Williams or JJ McCarthy. I can't believe I didn't do that.
Do the bonus. Do the bonus. That's worth 2 points. There you go. There's new.
You ready? More passing yards, Caleb Williams or JJ McCarthy?
Go,
Caleb
Matt.
Williams.
I'm going to shock. I'm going JJ.
Wow. Coach.
What'd you say, Matt?
I said Caleb.
You said Caleb over your – oh, my God. I cannot believe
You said
that.
more passing yards. You switched it up. You didn't do touchdowns. You didn't do fantasy points. You just –
I said
you went passing
yards.
So I'm going to go with Caleb Williams.
I'm with you. You've just been – all I've heard you all off season is how amazing JJ McCarthy is.
Yeah, he's good.
Caleb too.
He's really good. Just wait. He's gonna be really dang good. That's worth 2 points. Make sure you note it. You're gonna need those.
I mean, Tyler, you took who?
I took JJ. He's throwing it to the best wide receiver in the game, so I'll take it.
Coach has got to get that on his typewriter. You got ching, put his new piece of paper in there. Let's get to our next
a little bit.
Hang
Scott,
on.
There we go. On to the next. Scott, home league PPR, 12 team. QB is Purdy, JJ. Running back is Kamara, Pollard, Warren, Mason, and Judkins. Wide receivers are Puka, London, Tet, Addison, and Kirk. The tight end is McBride. The running back room is sketchy. Any advice, Tyler, that you want to offer Scott here?
Okay. I'm assuming this is redraft. That makes the most sense. I like the quarterback room. You've got stability in Purdy, JJ being there. You know, we just talked about that. I think he's got a rushing upside. I don't think your running back room is terrible by any means. I mean, you've got Kamara and Pollard both who are going to be stable veterans for you. When Judkins signs, I'm telling you, people are writing off Judkins already just because he's not signed with a team, and I get that. That's scary. But as soon as he signs, he will be the starting running back, in my opinion. And I think that'll give you another play too. Jaylen Warren, we've talked about him previously. If you missed that, obviously go back and check that out. I think he's a good depth piece. And then Jordan Mason too. We talked about him too. He could come on later on in the season and really, really step things up. But Puka, London, Ted, Addison being on suspension kind of hurts your depth temporarily. But I like your team overall, man. I mean, sure, it could hurt your depth with Addison there and then Christian Kirk being there. But I don't think you're probably playing either of those guys over your other three. So I like the team overall.
Coach.
Yeah, I love this squad. Pollard's a guy we've been talking a ton about. All the upside he has in Tennessee. Kamara, I like Kamara. He's about one more year here. I'm higher on Purdy than some of the other guys are personally. Love Puka, love London. I really, of course, McBride is awesome. So yeah, I love this squad.
Yeah, I like it too. I mean, you did mention the running back room sketchy. I would agree. At the same time, what I would tell you is, assuming this is not a 2-quarterback league where it's just one quarterback, be ready to drop probably JJ McCarthy. As much as I love the guy, and if you want to roll with Purdy, who I'm assuming you drafted higher just based on ADP, you got to be ready to make a move. I mean, rostering 2 quarterbacks is great, but at the same time, there's going to be plenty of guys available on waivers should something happen. And JJ's probably the initial guy that I'd be looking to move on from. Maybe Christian Kirk is another one of those where if you see someone fall on waivers or maybe someone performs this week, not sure who it could be, but Chase Rodriguez is on a lot of waivers out there. Maybe Bill doesn't play well. Maybe Rodriguez turns into the guy. Those are things you have to be ready for. So don't be afraid to drop one of those into your roster guys to pick up someone off of waivers. So that would be my advice. But let's get to our last question here. So start 7. 2 starting running backs, 2 starting wide receivers, the rest flex. Barkley, Chase Brown, Montgomery, Kyron Williams, Aaron Jones, Ted McMillan, Jameson Williams, Debo Godwin, and Hollywood Brown. Coach, pick your 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex.
Oh, 2 running backs. I'm going Barkley and Chase Brown, and Kyron's my flex. Like I'm starting 3 of those guys without a doubt.
Okay.
Then I'm going McMillan and Hollywood Brown.
Wow. Did not see that coming. Tyler, any changes there on the roster of the running backs or overall?
Instead of Hollywood, I would probably go with JMO. I just have more belief in JMO than Coach does fundamentally. So I would be comfortable with putting Teteroa and JMO out there.
If I wasn't going Hollywood, I'd go Debo.
That's the route I'm going to go. I'm benching Hollywood and I'm rolling with Debo. We're in consensus on these running backs. It's crazy. You got Aaron Jones on the bench too. Like that's another good play. So
that's huge.
Heck of a running back room. You might be able to move someone down the road for another wide receiver to kind of get better there. Maybe pair Aaron Jones and Jameson Williams and go up and get someone a little bit better. But just kind of stay fluid throughout the process. But this is great insight. He just subscribed, so we appreciate this subscription. Be sure to come back. We're here every single Wednesday. And then we've got one more. So hey guys, could you rate my team 12-team non-PPR? Remember that. Jaden Daniels, CMC, Jonathan Taylor, Pickens, Worthy, Kelsey, Flex's Harvey. His bench is Jaden Blue, Woody Marks, Ollie Gordon, Jordan Mason, Devontae Smith, Jacoby Myers, the king himself, Kyle Williams, and Hunter Henry. Non-PPR, what do you guys think of this squad?
I don't.
Or we got to rate it 1 through 10, Coach. 1 through 10.
Oh, 1 through 10. Oh gosh. 6. 6. Wide receivers scare me a little bit. They really do. Tight end scares me a little bit.
The Kelsey, Honey Henry, yeah.
Depth really scares me.
Tyler.
I'm gonna hate to be the Debbie Downer here, but I'm probably gonna go like a 4 or a 5. We'll go in the middle. We'll say 4.5. I like Daniels. You've got set there. You've got your 2 starters in CMC and Jonathan Taylor, right? But then, you've got your starters that we project to do better, but your depth is really lacking. Devontae and George Pickens, would probably be my 2 wide receiver starts out of those guys. Kelsey's fine. He's probably got a little more upside the first few weeks without Rashee Rice there. But overall, the depth is really scary. I mean, you took a lot of shots on rookie running backs. You know, they could work into a role, but as of right now, your depth is not good.
I mean, there is the possibility, like between Blue, Marks, Gordon, Mason, like you can't ever play any of those guys, right? That's possible.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
Well, listen, they didn't even let me give my rating, so keep going, guys. Keep going. I'm going to be
Matt,
the hope.
before
the
you give
beacon
your
of
rating,
hope.
Matt, how do you feel about Javonte Williams?
How do I feel about Javonte Williams? Is
Yeah,
there a
in
better
Dallas.
value right now? Like,
I
the
don't
guy's
think
going
so.
at the end of drafts. He looks like he's going to be in a role where he's competing with Miles Sanders. Who cares? I mean, obviously, not Woody Marks. Jaden Blue is interesting. I mean, it could be something, but at the same time, it could be nothing. I'm of the opinion, I think this is Javonte's backfield. I think he's going to have the most opportunity. If I'm rating this team, George, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give you a 7, and here's why. There is a world where this absolutely works out. It absolutely works out. We're not banking on catches. We don't need Xavier Worthy to have 8 catches for 100 yards. We need him to have 1 catch for 100 yards and a touchdown, and that absolutely can happen. At the same time, Travis Kelce, what do we know? Rashee Rice is out. We need a safety blanket in this offense. Kelce can absolutely do that. I think Devontae Smith, is he a safe wide receiver 1 for this team? Heck no. But I'm okay with using him and Pickens in an offense that's probably going to throw the ball a lot. So I'm going to be your voice of reason here. This can work out, but you are probably going to need to either 1, make some waiver moves, or 2, make a trade. Like Coach said, there's a world where Blue, Woody Marks, Ollie Gordon, Jordan Mason are guys you never even play. And you can add Kyle Williams to that list too. And he adds to start 2 wide receivers in a flex from this list. I'm going Pickens, Devontae Smith, and my flex is probably going to be Harvey. And I imagine the 2 of you are going to agree with me.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
The only
Maybe
other
Worthy.
that was going to be my pushback was, I mean, you could do Worthy. However, then you're competing against yourself too with having Kelce. So
True.
Take
not,
it.
Not Jacoby
there.
Myers.
Yeah. Well, let's not Jacoby Myers. I'm not going to entertain any more Jacoby. Well, let's speed through these last few because we've hit over an hour and 15 minutes. We appreciate everyone who's been here. So please like the stream if you haven't already. Coach, this question is going to you. How's my team? Josh Allen as his quarterback, Lamb wide receiver 1, Pickens or Terry at wide receiver 2, Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams as running backs, James Conner flex with Hawkinson in the flex, Pittsburgh defense. What's your thoughts on this team, Coach?
Amazing. Love that team. Wish my team looked just like that.
Gabriel asks you, Tyler, specifically, rate my 10-man team. PPR is Baker, Jamar, CD, Hill, Moore, Ibuka, Bucky, Kamara, Walker, Jones, Chubb, and Njoku and Andrews. God, I feel like that team is loaded. Go ahead, Tyler.
No, that was exactly the words that came into my head when I heard Jamar and CD, and then it just kept going. I really like the team overall. We talked about Njoku earlier. I think he's a dark horse at tight end. Your running back depth, is still good too with Bucky and Kamara. So I like those. I mean, I think overall your team's really good.
Coach, hit us with a deep sleeper rest of the season. Someone on waivers or in general.
Oh, man. I'm going to turn this back on you, Matt. You go. It's your turn to answer one.
I'm the host. You don't get to turn it on the host, but you know what? I will. My deep sleeper that I would like, I mean, how deep do we need to go? Elikai Manor, Coach, I'm stealing it from you. It's an easy win going forward. Takes over MVS as a starting wide receiver for the Titans, a guy who's going to be on waivers, probably not picked up this week, but we can see what his opportunity is, see how much his snap share is, and he might enter into a territory of a guy that needs to be rostered going on from week 2 forward. Another one would be Bill. I know he's rostered in a lot of leagues, but I think he's got the most to gain going forward.
Yeah, I like that. Of course, I like A.O. Manor. Matt, I've got another question for you because
sure.
This topic came up because I thought deep sleeper. I thought Jaden Higgins. So tell me, start, bench, cut. Okay. Trey Harris, Luther Burden, Jaden Higgins. This season only, not Dynasty. This season.
This season only. Burden, Higgins, and Harris.
Trey Harris. Yeah.
I'm starting Harris. I gotta stick with it. I gotta believe. I do. I'm going to bench Burden and I'm going to cut Higgins. That's where I'm at. So I think Higgins is in the most is probably in the best passing offense, but at the same time, it's just crowded. Like it's simply crowded. And at the same time, Burden's in a crowded room too. I think he's immediately the 3. I like Loveland a lot, so I think that kind of takes away from his opportunity. But at the same time, I think Trey Harris is in not the best quarterback room out of all of them, in my opinion, is Herbert. At the same time, he's competing with 80-year-old Keenan Allen and then nothing. So I think if he can get healthy, and I know the preseason wasn't great. KLS looked really good. He looked really good. So he deserves a mention. He looked really good, but Harris has the capital. At the same time, I think that if he can get on the field, because he may play all camp in joint practices too. So I think that it just didn't manifest itself. And at the same time, he didn't play with Herbert a ton. So, I think it can be just fine. But we gotta hit these questions, guys. We keep running out of time, and we got to get out of here soon. So let's hit Crimson's question, Tyler, for you. I have Dak and CD. Do I start Pickens over Marvin Harrison? Please help.
No. If you have Dak and CD, you don't want to triple stack that with Pickens. I would keep Marvin there. I could see it like if you needed a flex or something, but you don't want to just put everything on the Cowboys offense, and if they have a bad week, your team's screwed. So,
yeah, yep, I agree. Gabriel says his league mates might be insane. I would agree. Your team's filthy, so we all like your team. Last question of the night, Coach, goes to you. Flex Mike Evans, James Conner, or Mika Egbuka, and then followed up by start Mark Andrews or Tucker Kraft.
It would help me if I knew if this was PPR or not, but I'm going to go James Conner in my flex, and I'm going to start. That's a tough one there between those two. I want to start Mark Andrews.
I would do the same thing. So great answer. Well, we appreciate everyone who tuned in to like the stream. We are live every single Wednesday. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Face Off Sports Network. Alyssa or Alicia, I'm sorry. You'll have to tell us which one it is. You're always in here, and we appreciate you for being here. You have won our spot. So shoot us a DM over on X. I know you're in the Discord, so I will also go in there and find you. So congratulations to you. You now get access to our premium content over on our Patreon with our rankings, all sorts of access to our information, the things we're using, direct access to our All-Pro and Pro Bowl tier where we're answering your questions directly. So be sure to take advantage of that each week. We're really excited to have you in there, and we look forward to hopefully seeing some of you guys in there too. Any final thoughts there, boys?
I was just going to say, you guys follow the Face Off Network on X, follow the FF Mediators, follow us on X. Any and all of that stuff really helps us, and we really appreciate y'all tuning in.
Yeah. Tyler, any final thoughts?
I just want to hit Mark through a question in here at the end. It says start Pickens or Terry. This is the team where he had CD. Following what we said earlier, start Terry. Don't put all your eggs in one basket and one offense. But like these guys said, follow us on all the socials. We post content pretty much every day. We have a ton of recorded content coming out. We've got live streams coming your way. We're just ready for the season to start now. We've got one more day. So we look forward to it, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.
We also mentioned Pete's defensive videos earlier. We also need to put a plug in for Hoff's kicker videos.
Yeah,
true.
And then another thing that we're going to drop on our X this week is your fantasy football weather forecast and how that's going to affect the fantasy performances each week for Sunday and Monday night's game. So that's another thing to keep a lookout for on our X coming this Saturday morning. So just another something that can help you make a decision there.
Coach has been in the works with a correspondent we're about to have with our team here, and we're going to be pushing out some weather information for you guys to kind of see how that's going to affect our fantasy lineup. So it's going to be nice to track that going forward, and we'll see what happens. But we appreciate everyone for tuning in. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll catch you next Wednesday when we're live.